Hello, you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. So, I just wanted to make a short video about passing. And yes, I know that I made a video about this. My last video, I basically talked about all of the flaws associated with passing and why I don't think that it's not necessarily it's not something that we should all aspire for. You know what I mean? Like, not passing as a genetic woman does not make your transition less valid. It doesn't make you less valid. And passing doesn't make you a better person, or it doesn't even make you prettier. You know what I mean? And I think that's how I want to start this video off. There is a big difference between passing and being beautiful. This video is not about being beautiful. This video is solely on on passing. And I think even early on in my transition, when girls would, post things on social media and post pictures of themselves, and they would ask the question, do I pass? Really, what they were asking is, am I beautiful? Am I worthy? Am I acceptable? And the answer to that is, whether or not we can identify that you're trans, or whether or not that we can identify that you're trans, you still are beautiful and you still are valid. You know what I mean? Trans is beautiful. And however you express your trans identity is how you express your trans identity. Looking like a genetic female, yes, it has a lot of benefits. There's a lot of safety benefits. And I'll be honest, my life definitely did improve when I started passing. So I'm not going to make it seem as though the concept of passing is not important. It does have some importance, but I just want you to know, even if you don't pass, you are valid. So let's get into my tips for passing. The first thing, the very, very first thing in the Passing Bible, page 1 of Passing Genesis, is hormones. Honey, like, you have to kind of be realistic. You really, really have to be realistic, and you have to be practical. If you do not have hormones, if you're not on hormones, if you still have all the testosterone running through your body, how do you expect to pass? If you don't have the female hormones, you would have obviously gone through secondary male puberty, you would have gotten secondary male characteristics, and you would have developed as a male would have. You know what I mean? So if you want to pass, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the hormones. You have to just pump your body up, because what the hormones do is they not only redistribute fat, but they make your body develop the way that a woman's body, a genetic woman's body, develops. So you have to start with the hormones. When it comes to passing, I'm afraid there's no cheating. There really is no cheating. You have to start with the hormones and let your body do its thing. Trust me, you will be so happy when you do that. And you have to give it time, you know what I mean? Once you start the hormones, don't expect, oh, my boobs are going to be an A cup in a month. Nobody's body develops that way. You have to give it like at least 6 months. At least 6 months. And I know that sounds like a long time, but trust me, it goes like that. So once you've reached your 6 months, 6-month mark, I can't speak today, I don't know why. The second thing is, I would definitely encourage you, when you're beginning your passing journey, I actually made notes on this, is number 1, you really need to get a good wig. Either get yourself a good wig or get yourself good extensions. Your hair can make or break you. Look, a lot of us, when we start this journey off, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're Black, whether you are white, a lot of us don't start off with, Pocahontas hair down to our knees. A lot of us start off with the bobs, you know, the buzz cuts. So you're gonna have to start off with a wig, but make sure it's a good wig. Because the thing is, if you get a really, really bad wig, it can actually draw more attention to you because of how bad it is. And the crazy thing is, and girl, I have had my share of bad wigs. All you need to do is scroll down to some of those early videos and you can see some of those janky ass wigs. But the thing is, when you have a bad wig, it kind of forces you to like pack on all the makeup, to basically cake up on all the makeup. And when you put on all of that makeup, it has the reverse effect. It starts to give you a very drag queen-esque appearance. That's what it really, really does. And it makes you kind of look artificial. It really does make you look artificial. So I would definitely say you have to invest in a good wig. Investing in a good wig is investing in your transition, and you are worth the investment. Now, the second thing is, it's linked with the wig. It's like the whole makeup thing. A lot of us feel like we need to pack up the makeup. And I've said it in a previous video that, you know, sometimes having your brows on fleek, your nails on fleek, everything perfect and contoured and contoured the fuck up, it is fun, but it draws attention to you. The reason it draws attention to you is because most females don't put on that much makeup. And when you are trying to pass and you put on all of that makeup, it makes people look at you. And if people are looking at you for a really, really long time, they can pick up. I've said this before in a previous video, and I'm gonna say it again. You want to do basic girl beats. Basic girl beats are your best friend. In a lot of my videos, I basically only just do my eyes and maybe I'll put on some lipstick. Those are the two things that I do. And even that is kind of a lot for some people. You know what I mean? Some videos I won't even put on lipstick. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to blend into society. I don't want to be a show. Trust me, I've been a show before and it's not fun. It really isn't fun. So I would definitely say basic girl beats. Now another thing is, so with the makeup and with the hormones, those two things, what the hormones do, they obviously make your face all plump. There's fat redistribution and all of that. There's a YouTuber that I've mentioned before. She's super, super famous, Gigi Gorgeous. Now, if you don't follow Gigi Gorgeous, go to her channel and watch some of her videos. And I want you to see the change in Gigi Gorgeous. If you go back to her videos 3 years ago, when she first had her facial feminization surgery, she was on hormones, I think, for about a year or 2 years, I'm not sure. And she had the facial feminization surgery and her face was swollen. Her face was swollen for a whole year. This is the year when she got her boyfriend Corey, and I really think that was Gigi Gorgeous's golden year. You know, a lot of us were living for her videos and living vicariously through her. After the year, she started to lose a lot of weight, and I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but she started to lose a lot of weight, and she started to put on a lot of almost like over-the-top makeup. So her face got a lot thinner, and she put on a lot of drag makeup. Look at some of her newer videos and look at the older ones, and tell me if you don't see a difference. What I can tell you honestly is weight is your best friend when it comes to transitioning. Yes, we all want to be supermodels. Yes, we all want to be super, super thin. But what you need to understand is when you have gone through when you've gone through puberty and you've developed secondary male characteristics, your bones develop in a certain type of way. Now, when you gain weight, it covers a lot of the bone structure is covered and it is softened. When you start to lose a lot of the weight, especially in your face and especially in your boobs, it brings out a lot of your more masculine features. And yes, you can still pass and have some masculine features coming out here and there. Like, everyone is different. But I'll honestly say that gaining weight is your best friend. If you can gain just a little bit of weight, girl, do it. Girl, honestly, do it. Earlier this year, I noticed that I was losing a lot of weight, and I freaked the fuck out because I realized that if I got any thinner, I wasn't really going to pass. And if you look at some of the girls, there's another girl, S Child. I don't know if you guys have ever seen her videos, but she's an older trans woman, and she's one of the thicker girls. Gorgeous, 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 thick, beautiful, multicultural woman. And her face is rounder and softer, and it's because she's thick. That's one of the reasons that she passes so well. So if you're nervous or insecure about the fact that the hormones have given you maybe a pound or two, don't be. This is your new body, and embrace it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying jump on the 600-pound wagon and become morbidly obese. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is reach a healthy proportion where you are just a little thicker. Again, that's a relative term, but what I'm saying is don't freak out if you gain a little weight, and don't go on these crash course diets to lose the weight, because that little bit of weight that you've developed is actually going to help you pass. Trust me on this. Trust me. So the second thing is, or the third thing at this point, your voice. Now, this is a hard one because, we all have different voices, and for some of us, we can't always control it. But what I would definitely say is listen to some of the girls. Listen to how they speak and how they, listen to their cadence. You know what I'm trying to say? Try to listen to their voices and try to work on your voice. Your voice can honestly make or break you as a trans woman. And I'm not saying that to scare you, but I'm just putting it out there that your voice can honestly make or break you. A lot of us can try to speak in higher tones. If I wanted to, I could definitely make my voice higher. But what you want to do is you want to try and reach a point, or you want to try and reach a point where you're still comfortable and it still sounds feminine. You don't have to sound like a Kardashian, but at the same time, you don't want to sound like Donald Trump. You want to have a healthy sort of middle. Look, my voice has some bass to it. A lot of trans girls' voices have some bass to it. So don't be worried if you have some bass to your voice, but do try to work on your voice. Alright, so actually I think I'm going to make a whole video on tips on working on your voice. But anyways, I digress. Your wardrobe. Your wardrobe. Gal, your fucking wardrobe, your clothes, who knew it, can literally make or break you as a trans girl. I had no idea that the clothes that you wear, how you dress, can literally make or break you. So when I started my transition, obviously, I just wanted to be super sexy and I wanted to show my body off. And when my body started developing and I had my boobs and stuff like that, look at me flashing you. When I had my boobs and everything, and when my ass started to get bigger, I just wanted to wear the shortest dresses. I wanted to have my boobs out. I was doing the most. I basically was dressing like a baby prostitute. And I loved it, and I had fun, and I was enjoying myself, and I was embracing my sexuality. And that was such a fun time in my transition. but it wasn't sustainable because when you have, let's say you have the long weave down to your butt, you have the show my ass outfit, you have your boobs out on display, you know, looking like a thought, living your best life. It draws attention to you. It draws attention to you. And sometimes when we do the most, especially with our wardrobe, like I'll make an example. You get invited to a house party. You get invited to a barbecue. And all of the other girls are wearing jeans, they're wearing shirts, they have their hair in a bun, they have very little makeup, and you rock up there wearing the shortest dress, wearing super high heels, with your nails and everything on fleek, looking hella extra. Hella extra is gonna put all those eyes on you. Everybody's gonna be looking at you, girl. Literally everybody's gonna be looking at you, and it's gonna clock you. It's gonna clock you. The secret to passing, the thing is, the secret to passing, what you really need to understand is there's a difference between passing and being pretty. And you need to decide what it is that you want to do. And I honestly say to people, try to reach a happy medium. Try to reach a happy medium where you still look good and you still look really pretty, but you're not trying to draw too much attention to yourself, and you blend into society. You know, you can move through the world without all of that hoopla. This is why I say the concept of passing is so flawed. Everything that I'm saying, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Christabel, this shit is hella problematic. But we continue. Number 4, and I think this is something that you're always going to have to work on, is your confidence. Look, your confidence is literally going to make or break you. It literally is going to make or break you. There have been times where my dysphoria has gotten the better of me, and I've walked into a situation and I felt I felt that people were staring at me, and I started to slouch. I wouldn't look at people in the eye. I would get really insecure, and I, as a result, became very awkward. People pick up on that energy. They really pick up on that energy, and it kind of yeah, it makes you stand out. So if you don't have confidence, I would say, especially about your newfound, especially about your transition, you know what I mean? If you don't have confidence about that, I would say fake it until you make it. You really have to fake it until you make it. And tell yourself, you know, get it deep into your head that I am a woman and I am beautiful. I am beautiful and everybody loves me. When everyone looks at me, they see a woman. Make that your mantra. Keep singing it, keep saying it. And it's that whole thing with the law of attraction. The energy that you put out into the world is going to come back to you as experience. And definitely with passing, girl, like, if you tell yourself, if you literally put it out there in the universe that I am beautiful, I'm a beautiful woman, and everybody sees a woman in front of them, that's what people are going to see. That's what people are going to see. There are other things like, you know, like your hands, for example. If you have big hands, I feel that my hands are big. I'm not sure. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but I feel that my hands are big. And early on in my transition, I used to wear a lot of rings, like just rings with big crystals, and my nails, I would have my nails done, and my nails would be like cat lady long. I'd have like long nails, and that put a lot of attention to my hands, and it made my hands look bigger. I'm just putting it out there. It just made my hands look bigger. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Another thing you really need to look at is, how can I say this without sounding like an asshole? So one thing you really need to watch out for is the type of people that you the type of people that you hook up with, the type of people that you talk to on Tinder, the type of guys that you are flirting with. Now, if you are talking to, let's say you're one of the girls who doesn't want to tell guys straight off the bat that you're trans. You first want to get to know someone. Let's say you're in that situation. If you have made yourself up and you look like a Barbie doll and you are an 8, let's say you're an 8 or you're a 10, and you're talking with somebody who is a 3 or a 4, just a regular schmegular guy, that's gonna clock you. That's gonna clock you. That's gonna clock you. So if you're out here looking like a supermodel and you're standing next to Homer Simpson, his friends, the people around him, other people are gonna look at you guys because you're an odd match. You know what I mean? You're an odd match. And people are immediately gonna be like, what does she see in him? Like, what's going on here? People are normally, they're either going to think that, and I'm sorry to say it, girl, they're going to think you're an escort. They're either going to think that you're an escort, or they're just going to straight up clock you and be like, that's a trans girl. And it's happened to me so many times where I've been talking to guys that, I thought were very cute, and I was done up. And people have assumed that I was an escort, or people have just straight up clocked me. Also, if you are going to talk to a guy who's mismatched, like where it's a mismatch, where you're more attractive and he's not as attractive as what you are, if you're very eager, like if you're eager the beaver on the text message and you're blowing him up and you're sending all these long messages and he's giving you very, very little, and you're the one who's driving the conversation, honey, you're clocking yourself. You're clocking yourself because in the communication, as he's speaking to you, it's going to dawn on him that, wait a minute, a girl that looks like this, no girl that is this attractive has ever given me this much attention. Why is this girl giving me so much attention? Why is she being so nice? I'm sorry, that's the world we live in. A lot of girls that are just really, really attractive, 9 times out of 10, they're not that nice unless they're trying to get something from you. So that's just going to put up a lot, that's going to be a red flag. That's going to be a red flag, and it's going to potentially clock you. Sticking to the theme of guys, I'm a black transgender woman, and I date a lot of white guys. Interracial dating can clock you. Dating a guy who's lighter skinned can also clock you. And this ties into the colorism that's in the transgender community, within the LGBT community. I'm not going to get into the colorism, but colorism clocks us. Colorism clocks us. Think about it. Colorism in the black community basically says that when you're darker, you're more aggressive, you're more masculine, there's a lot of negative associations with being a black person who has really, really dark skin. And I mean, you'll have people who call you a brick bitch, and the only reason they say that is because you have a darker complexion. Has nothing to do with the fact that you're passing or non-passing. And there are a lot of girls that are super, super light-skinned that don't necessarily pass or can't pass, but because they're so light, people are like, oh my gosh, like your hair is so long and your skin is so light, and wow, you pass this, that, and the other. So colorism really fucks us up in the black community as trans women. So if you are a black trans girl and you are dating, let's say, a Hispanic guy or a guy that's lighter skinned, or even a white guy, it can in some instances clock you. It can in some instances clock you. So, if you're dressed like a baby prostitute, like a lot of us do, you know, when we go out, if you're dressed like a baby prostitute, if you're kicking up all of the makeup, if you're lacking in confidence, if you're making all of the effort, those are all going to point to one thing. Those are all going to point to one thing. And they're going to clock you. They legit are going to clock you. That being said, even if they do, so fucking what? And I want, you know, if you leave with anything in this video, leave with this. Even if they clock you, even if they know you're one of the girls, you should be proud of that. The effort, the time, the love that you put into yourself, the courage that you put into this transition, that's something to be proud of. That is definitely something to be proud of. So if people pick up that you are in fact transgender, that's so freaking what? So freaking what? It's who you are. Live in it and embrace it, girl. So thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's been hella long, but I really do appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Just remember, you are so beautiful, and you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of all of the good things that are headed your way. Wherever you are in transition, you are worthy. You are beautiful. Passing doesn't mean you're beautiful. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you can move through the world without people making a fuss. But thank you for watching. Peace, love, and many blessings.